Ever since I was a little girl, I just loved Cinderella. And this is because there is a message here about having courage and being kind. What does that mean to me? Well, first of all, courage comes from speaking your truth. It comes from following your heart. Even when other people tell you that your dreams are ridiculous. You know, no matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep believing, a dream that you wish will come true. Well, sometimes that takes a lot of courage to hold on to your dreams when everybody else around you is telling you you can't do it. And the Cinderella, the live action Cinderella for Disney, has like the most perfect way of showing this. Where no matter what was befalling Ella in that story, no matter how awful people were to her, no matter how unfair it was, she took it as it came. Her father ends up marrying this woman who is just instantly cruel. And she's like, oh, you can go move up into the attic. And Cinderella's like, okay, all right. Ella's like, okay, fine, I'm going to the attic. I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to make friends with the mice and I'm just going to make the best of the situation. And she does make the best of her situation. She finds out her dad's dead and she's like, okay, I guess I'm going to be the servant because all the other servants have left. I guess I'm going to have to make the best of the situation because her home was there. That was her home. She wanted to take care of it. Her stepsisters and her stepmother didn't care about that home as much as she did. So that's why she stayed. And then she goes out into the woods one day and she meets Kit. Now, I love the live action Cinderella because who plays Kit is the same guy that played Robb Stark in Game of Thrones. And he is gorgeous. He is so gorgeous. So I very much enjoy that. But the thing is that she doesn't know he's a prince. She just sees this guy who she really enjoys, and he tells her he's an apprentice of his trade, and she has no idea who he is. She's just treating him like a real person. She just has courage and she's kind to him, and he really enjoys her company. And then when she finds out that there's going to be a ball at the palace, she's like, well, I want to go too. And they're like, you can't go and marry that prince. There's no way you're not going to attract the prince. She's like, oh no, I don't want to see the prince. I don't care anything about the prince. I just want to see my friend. Like, she was very, very kind, and she just wanted to have that moment with her friend. And then she gets to the ball eventually, because with the fairy godmother, her dress is ripped and she's crying and she's about ready to leave. She's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't stay here. And she's about to leave. And that's when the fairy godmother in disguise is like, could I get a little bit of milk? And she's like, oh, of course. She gives it to her. And of course it's Helena Bonham Carter. So she's playing it up and she's got like the milk dribbling down and Ella's she's like, okay, whatever. And then she's like, you've been crying. It's like, oh no, it's okay. It's like, and there's something about how she's like, nothing. What's a bowl of milk? Nothing. But kindness is everything. And that's when Ella finds out that this is the fairy godmother. And she's making all her dreams come true. For a night. She gets to go. And she gets to dance with Kit, who happens to be the prince, and she can't believe he's actually a prince. And he thinks she's a princess, but I mean, at the same time, she can't tell him everything. But the thing about this story that I really, really love, that's so much better than the animated version, is that the stepmother finds out that Ella was the princess at the ball, and she confronts Ella with the slipper. And she says to her, you can marry this prince, but you have to put me in charge of the household. I'm going to run things. And she's like, I can't do that to him. And so instead of taking the deal and going with her prince like she wants to do, like she loves him, She's like, no, I can't do that to him. I'm not going to allow him to diminish himself just so that I can have my dreams. I'm not going to do that to him. I'm not going to destroy his reputation by doing that to him. So I'm just going to stay in my tower. And then at the end, this is the other part that I really love, is that they have it so that he's in disguise. So Kit is in disguise. And he is pretending to be one of the guards because he knows that the Duke is not going to let Ella out. He knows where she is. He knows she's up there. He knows that they're plotting something, and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to let this happen. So when they're like, oh, there's no other maidens in the house, and the birds open the window, and Ella's singing, lavender's blue, dilly dilly, lavender's green. And he hears that song, and he's like, stop the carriage. And like the funny thing is, I really like about this is that they've got two Game of Thrones characters in there playing in this role. And they weren't together in Game of Thrones, which is even funnier. But they're like, no. Stop this right now. We're going inside. So then Kit's waiting inside for her, and she's just like, Your Majesty, I don't know if that slipper's going to fit, but if it is, are you going to take me as I am, an honest country girl who loves you? And he's like, if you'll take an honest apprentice or an apprentice still learning his trade, and then the slipper fits. But at the end, the stepmother is like, she just is standing at the top of the stairs. She knows she's screwed up. She knows she's screwed up big time. And I mean, she had a whole bunch of issues too. I mean, she was really in pain. People are only unkind to you if they're in pain. When you're happy with your life, when you love yourself, even if things aren't working out for you, and you have that courage and you're kind, that reflects back to you. And of course, the stepsisters now want a curry favor, and they're saying, we're so sorry, Ella. And she just looks at them all, and she's like, I forgive you. And she walks out with the prince, and she lives happily ever after. And the thing I really, really love about that is that it's true. It doesn't take much to have courage and be kind. No matter what is going on in your life, as long as you have courage to speak your truths without trying to shame, blame, make anybody wrong, but speaking your own heart truths, and you're kind, good things will happen for you. They just will. And when you're shaming and blaming and making people wrong and putting that energy out there to try to tear somebody down, for somebody else to be like, you know what? You're being very, very mean to me right now. And I could retaliate. I could say some very horrible things to you. I know your secrets. I'm a Scorpio. Okay? So don't mess with me. I do have, if somebody really crosses me, I will put them in their place. And I do know how to fight back. I may look sweet and innocent, but I do know how to fight back. And everybody knows where their limit is. But the thing is that you don't have to use that poison. I don't want to use it. I'd rather just have courage, be kind. And if people are going to be mean to me, I'm just going to block them. I'm just going to let them go. I'm just going to delete their comments off my feed. I'm not going to entertain it anymore. Because it doesn't take much to be kind, but it takes so much more energy to just be angry. It really does. And it diminishes yourself. So if you really want your dreams to come true, you have to have the courage and the audacity to dream it. And you have to have the courage and audacity to dream it even when there's evidence saying that it's never going to happen. You have to have the courage and audacity to dream it even when people are tearing you down. Because you were given that dream for a reason. And all you have to do in the world to let it come true is to have courage, to keep dreaming that dream, and be kind to everyone. Because you never know. Maybe that apprentice learning his trade is actually the prince in disguise. So you never know. Maybe that old woman who seems a little odd is your fairy godmother. And she's just dressing odd because she knows that people are not going to respond to her in the way of currying favor. And she wants to see who's really kind. The universe is always testing you. Always, always testing you. In fact, I got hit with a donut a couple of days back. This woman was very, very troubled. And I'm very kind to people who are homeless or down on their luck. And I often help them when I can, even if it's as simple as giving them a smile and being like, I'm sorry, I really don't have anything right now to give you. And at the same time, I do hope that you get what you're looking for. Or if I do have something, I'll give it. Or there's been times when I've bought a sandwich for a homeless person because I'm like, you know what? Those cold French fries are not going to serve you. And I'm getting a sandwich anyway, so I might as well cut it in half and give it to you. Or I have a 20 and they're looking for a 5 and I give that to them because it's like, you know what? I was just going to go and use this to go and buy myself some fruit. But you need it more than I do today. And I know that it's going to come back to me in some way, shape, or form because I'm getting things that are helping me. And what goes around comes around. And if I help someone, even when I don't have much to give, that signals to the universe, okay, she's a giving person. We're going to give her more. So when you, even if you don't have much to give, if you do some kindness to somebody, maybe it's as simple as, hey, I've outgrown this outfit, or somebody else has outgrown this outfit, and you give that to someone else in need, instead of hoarding it, instead of having that scarcity mindset of, if I don't hold on to this, I won't get any more. It's about giving. The universe works in a way that you are the one that's giving out. You're answering somebody's prayers every time you give. So Cinderella really answered the prayers of the universe by having courage and being kind. And she was rewarded with the prince. And the thing is that she got to be queen with him because she was not going to be a spoiled queen. She was not going to be the queen that in one of the versions of Cinderella, the stepmother actually cuts off the toe and the heel of her daughter's, like, for their feet to fit into a slipper. And she's like, when you're queen, you won't have to walk. So it doesn't matter. You'll be carried everywhere. So it was the idea of, well, once you make it, you can just do whatever you want. So you're not going to have to worry. So it's okay if we do these horrible things, because once we make it to the top, it won't matter. We can just lord over everybody. But Cinderella's not like that. Ella's not like that. She's standing for her prince, for her king. And they rule kind and loving. And they are beloved by their subjects. Because the other thing is, if you're hated by your subjects, it's only going to be a matter of time before somebody's going to chop your head off. I mean, look at history. Look at every single bad guy, every single tyrant gets taken out of power by the people. We're just waiting for a hero, somebody with kindness, with courage. So I'm going to invite you, no matter what is going on in your life, no matter how hard it is, hold that faith, hold that love, have courage, be kind, and good things will happen for you. And they may not happen all at once, but they will happen. They will happen. Because as long as you have that audacity to keep dreaming, your dreams will come true. All right. And don't let anybody tell you anything different. Talk to you soon. Bye.